Hello everybody and welcome to the 200th episode of Operation Logistics. If you've watched all the way through to here, I commend you. That's a lot of stunningly boring content. Well done. You are truly my hero. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep working on this shipping container mesh that we're working on right now. So the first thing is, obviously we've got these three here that need to be corrugated, and then this back that needs to be corrugated in the same way. And then these doors up here will be modeled slightly differently because we've got these like impressions here, but otherwise it's flat, but we've got these like bars going down. Presumably as like handholds or something, like to open it with. I don't know what their purpose is, but seems something like that. So we're going to need to corrugate this, and we're going to need to have a standard corrugation width, if that makes any sense. So let's go ahead and duplicate this face. I'm not going to move it, but we'll just split that off. And then let's go ahead and put in a bunch of loop cuts here. This will be, I don't know, like... Well, this is 5.907 long. So we'll do like 5.907 divided by... Or, well, yeah. No, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do this slightly differently. I mean, it doesn't really matter if we have exactly the same corrugation on the back. We'll go for about... We'll go for 75 cuts here. It's a lot of cuts. This is going to be reasonably high poly. This is already 152 triangles, but let's take a quick look at how this works, this corrugation. So you can see that we've got essentially a flat one on the interior and then a flat one on the exterior. Now, the way that we are going to be doing this is we're going to be essentially intruding, because we want the exterior ones to be flush here. So I'm just going to attempt something here. If we do this... And actually, we need to hide this guy. If we just move this in, like, not quite every other one, but like every third one. So like this one, and then this one, so a gap of 2 in between. That should give us a reasonably close approximation, but if there's a gap of 3 in between, then that'll give us a perfect approximation of what we see going on. So let's have a gap of 3 here. Just go through and select in hopes that I don't mess up, which I will many, many times. This is episode 200 of this show. You should know this by now. This is not new news. And then we're just going to essentially truncate the sheet here. And then we just extrude this in about... No, not extrude. We want to grab this in about 0.05. Something like that. And that gives us our corrugation. Look at that. Perfect corrugation. That easy. Fantastic. Now the question is that too deep? Let's bring this guy back with Alt-H and get rid of these 3 faces here. Like that. And take a quick look. Is this too deep? I don't think so. I think that's fine. Honestly. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. We're gonna need a floor here, and do we need an internal view? Not really. I think we just need a floor and a ceiling so that we don't have gaps in our mesh. Although, looking at this, oh yeah, we do have gaps here. So we need a floor and a ceiling, and nothing else really internally. But let's go ahead and duplicate this guy. And I'm going to rotate him around the z-axis 180 degrees. And the question then becomes, do we need a different direction of corrugation for the top? Well, let's look at our reference here. It looks like it's now corrugated this way on top, not this way. So the short way, not the long way. So that's actually ideal. We don't then need to remodel anything. Just rotate that 90 degrees, like so. However, the height of this isn't quite right. We can see that immediately. So let's go ahead and come into edit mode here in orthographic view. and then grab all of these guys, and we just need to bring... We're in top ortho. This should be straight lines, shouldn't it? Scale x 0. Scale x 0. I don't know why that isn't straight. Let's come in here. Scale z0. Scale z0. And that should be at a z height of negative 0.85. And then a height up here of 0.95375. That's weird. Okay, let's make sure those are fixed. 0.85, but that should be negative 0.85. And then I believe this one is the one that it was fixing. Yes. Okay, this one will be a little different anyway. So let's go ahead and make sure that this is on the right plane here. So a x value of 0.599, wow, 5.95474. That's where we want this line right here to be. We'll make sure that that's even and place that at exactly the correct point. And then over here, same thing. At this x position, 4.04628. There we go. And there's our top corrugation working now. With the top corrugation, that does mean that we will need some sidewalls. So let's go ahead and grab this here, extrude that down to be basically the bottom point that this corrugation reaches to, which is 0.95. So, hang on a moment. We need to apply that rotation. Apply rotation with Control A. And now we can come in here and get the correct Z value, right? It's still saying 0.95. Which is definitely not right. We applied this rotation, right? Oh no, we didn't. What did we apply the rotation to? I don't know. It wasn't this, though. Now the rotation is applied, and it's still saying 0.95. That's a little odd. I guess we'll just have to eyeball it. So let's bring this into here, this view here. Well, what's these non-straight lines? What's all this then? Aha. Somehow that didn't get straightened up. That's fine. Okay. So, at this point, we now need to grab this interior wall here and bring this guy down so that he is just below here. And then I'm wondering, are we getting clipping here? Yes, we are. Okay, so what that means is we need to grab this, actually deselect everything, grab this here, and let's reduce the corrugation by about half. Does that still look sufficiently corrugated? Yeah, that does, actually. That looks fine. Let's do the same thing here and here. I'm just going to go ahead and join these together for now so that I can work on both of them at the same time. And we're just going to grab from here. And then I specifically didn't grab this because we want to bring this in 0.25. But we want to bring this the opposite direction, 0.25. So 0.25 or 0.025, the opposite direction. There we go. And as you can see, that's still plenty corrugated. It's just that we can now grab this here and move it on down to be about there without it sticking through over here, which is perfect. We want to do the same thing with the interior edge loop here, I think. Are we actually fully covered there? We are actually fully covered there. That's ideal. So that's fine. I think that we would, though, need to have faces in here. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this quick so that we can actually see what we're working on here. Tends to help. And yeah, it looks like we do indeed need faces. I'm going to go ahead and go back into perspective mode so that we can kind of see what we're doing. We're going to need to create a face here. Like that. And then one over here as well. So up to here. Perfect. While we're at it, we may as well create that floor face that I was talking about before. Like that. And I guess we could do some like internal faces, but I don't think that's strictly speaking necessary. I mean, we could. But let's go ahead and create a face here. We already did. What am I talking about? Okay. I'm going to bring back the corrugation, and we're just going to check to see that it's all plugged up, essentially. That we don't see anything internally. And indeed we do not. That looks perfect. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing to this face here. And we're just going to separate that out and delete this face, so that we have just this face to work with. But let's check what our width between these faces is. In fact, 0.07773. Okay. So that looks about right there, but that's 13 cuts there. So we need like 26 cuts. Or something like that. 0.07068. That's probably about as close as we're going to get, realistically speaking. So then let's go ahead and just grab every third here again. I'm going to start right here. Just because I think that that might be where we want to start. Yeah, that's where we wanted to start, all right. And then we'll just grab this in 0.025 inward. And as we can see, we have a couple of face gaps here. So we're going to need to go ahead and hide this, if I can hit the H button. There we go. And we are going to want to create a face basically here to here. And then another one up here. What vertices do we want? Here to probably here. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. Something's not quite right. In illusion. What are you hiding? I grabbed the wrong vertice. That's what you're hiding. Did I? Did I grab the wrong vertice, though? I'm not convinced I did. I mean, we have some interesting edges going on here. There's no doubt about that. Because we've got this down here working fine, but this appears to be substantially different to this over here. And I'm wondering... It's the same Z. I don't know, maybe it's just the angle. So if we do that and bring it back with Alt-H, does that look fine? Not amazingly fine. Let's go ahead and set this Z for these vertices to here and see if that messes anything up. It doesn't seem to. And now the corrugation appears to be solid. So that's good. Excellent. Well, we're not quite done with the shipping container yet, but we're getting very close. I think in the next episode we're going to go ahead and do the doors, but for right now I need to put a cut in here, subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.